guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to make a super cute, super easy little summertime watermelon gnome, you got to see this video. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a thumbs up. It really helps my analytics. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, you're going to need some jean material, you're going to need some fleece, you're going to need some faux fur, you're going to need some fabric, you're going to need a couple beads for the hands and the nose, you're going to need two 1" by 3" styrofoam discs, some pipe cleaners, some little sticks, some hair noodles, you're going to need a piece of felt, you're going to need a couple little feet, you're going to need some decorations, you're going to need some non-woven fabric, and some polyfill. Okay, to start off, we're going to fold our fabric. This is a 12 by 15 inch fabric, and we are going to fold it on the 15-inch side, and we are going to curve from the tip all the way down to 4 inches. Now, I started doing it from this side, but I'll show you in a second. I flipped it over, and it was a little bit easier from this side. So just curve up all the way to the tip, and then go ahead and cut off that little curve right there, because you want to make sure your fabric's curved. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and open it up, and we're just going to glue all the way down this one side. And then let that dry, and then we're going to open it up, and we're going to cuff it up before we turn it right side out 2.5 inches, because we're going to have a 1.5 inch cuff on the front side. Okay, get that pretty straight, and then go ahead and glue that in. Okay, then turn it right side out, and then we're going to make our cuff on the front part. Now, we're not going to glue our cuff on the front part yet, because we are going to put some watermelon down in it. Okay, next we're going to take our styrofoam discs, and we're going to glue them together. And then I'm taking a 9 by 24 inch piece of non-woven fabric, and I'm just going to roll this up in it. And this will just really hide, if you have thin fabric, it just really hides the styrofoam, because I could see the styrofoam through my fabric. It just kind of holds everything together good. It gives a little bit more stability in the body. Okay, next we're going to take our fabric for our body, and we're just going to hem up one side, the long side, and then one of the short sides. And then we are going to glue our styrofoam to that. To start at one end, go all the way down to the bottom. Just make sure that you don't see any of that styrofoam through the bottom part. And then glue down one side and go ahead and finish that off and let it dry. Okay, next I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a bunch of polyfill in it, and you want to fill it up pretty good. You want it to be pretty stable, and we're going to stop before we get to 2 inches at the top, and that's where we're going to tie it off at. So just make sure it's pretty full. You want it to be real firm. So 2 inches from the top, we're just going to tie that off. Next, I'm going to take my 2 sticks, and I went ahead and sharpened them with a pencil sharpener. Those are 6 inch by 1/4 inch, and I'm cutting them at 3 inches. Then I'm going to take my little hair noodle. I'm going to go ahead and take my wire out. Put it into your foot. Mark where it's at the top. And then cut that off. You just want it flush with the top. Okay, then go ahead and take them back out and put your sticks through them with the pointy side up. Make sure they're even and go ahead and glue them into your feet. We're going to go ahead and do the legs. Make sure that you cut your jean material. If you do, cut it where you have the seam already finished on the bottom. Otherwise, you need to add a 1/2 inch so you can hem that up. And we're just going to hem up one side of this so that we have a nice seam in the back. I'm going to do that on both of them. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap it around the leg and have the seam finish out in the back. And I'm sorry y'all are having to look at my poison ivy on my arm. If anybody knows how to get rid of it, I would love to hear it in the comments, because I'm really struggling getting rid of it this time. Just make sure that they're even, that you have them at the same location, because you'll see it. Just however high up on the foot you have it. Then we're going to come back in and we're going to add slits all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to just glue those flush with the top of the noodle so that it'll be finished out when we put it onto the body. And I did the same thing on the body. If you can get your jean material with the seam already finished on the bottom, it just makes it look a lot nicer, like it really is a pair of jeans. But just want to make sure that all of that is pushed down flat so that when we put it into the body, you won't see it. It'll blend in with the pants. And do the same thing with the second pair. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the body, the pants on the body. We're just going to hem up the one unfinished side. And then we're going to hem up one side on one of the short sides. And then just go ahead and wrap that around the body. Now you want to come down a little bit below your styrofoam on this, because we are going to put a little piece on the bottom and we don't want it to be seen. So just come down maybe 1/8 of an inch from the edge and glue that around. And just kind of pull it tightly as you're doing it so you don't have any wrinkles at the top. And I'm going to come in and put a piece of felt on the bottom. And if you have a circle cutter that can cut a circle, just measure the bottom of that and cut it out. I did mine. I ran it through my Big Shot because I had a circle about that size. Otherwise, you'll have to just cut that by hand. And just glue that right on the bottom. Just gives it a nice finished out edge. Okay, then we're going to figure out exactly where you want your feet. And then go ahead and take an X-Acto and cut into the styrofoam. And we're going to glue these in. Just make sure he kind of sets straight. Now he is going to be lifted off the ground a little bit because of that seam in the back of his pants. But try to get as low to the ground as you can on those. And then go ahead and glue those in. Put a little bit of glue inside. And then just a little bit around the top edge because you don't want too much seeping out. And then just hold those in until they're glued in good. And then we're going to put a piece of jute around his waist. So just come to, and I'm putting it to the side because his beard will stick out if you don't in the front. So go ahead and put it to the side, figure out exactly where you want it. And then I'm going to tie my knot over one way. And then when I tie it the second time, I'm going to tie it over the opposite way. And that'll give it a nice look on your knot. And then just trim those out however length you want. And then you're going to need to put a little bit of glue on the end of each one of them so that they don't come unraveled. Okay, next what we're going to do is we're going to cut his beard, and I'm making it 3 inches by 3 inches. And I'm just going to draw a little U around there for the shape of the beard. And then you're going to cut behind the faux fur only to cut out that beard. Just go all the way around that little U, and then you're going to comb off any excess so you don't have any excess hair hanging off of it. Okay, next we're going to attach it to it. We're going to attach it right at the top ridge of the body. And then just get that glued in good. And we're going to go ahead and do his arms. We're going to fold up the fabric on the one long end and one short end. And this is a 3 by 7 inch piece of fabric. And then we're going to take our noodle, we're going to take our wire out of the noodle and cut it in half, and we're going to cut these to 4.5 inches in length. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and put our wire back in it because we want to be able to bend his arm, and then just glue that cap in on that end. Cut that wire off, and then we're going to glue inside the noodle to glue that in. And do that on both of them. Okay, then we're going to add our little bead for our hands. We're just going to kind of hang over the edge just a little bit. And then we're going to glue our noodle down right next to that. So make them connect. And then we're just going to roll them up and glue them in. Next, we're going to put the arms onto the body. Make sure that your seam is facing the body, and we're just going to bend those over so that they lay flush onto the body. And we are going to take a rubber band and we're going to tie it around the very top part to hold it on, and then we're going to come back with a string and tie that off. Just make sure you have them at the length you want them, and then we're going to go ahead and just tie that off with a string. Okay, next we're going to do his hat. I'm taking 4 pipe cleaner. I'm just rolling up the bottom of them so that they don't have a point through the top. Try to figure out exactly where you want them, and then just cut them off because you want it down inside the hat. And then go ahead and glue it inside the hat. Now, once I got my hat on, I figured I had them a little bit too long, and so I did roll the top edge over again. Go ahead and take a string around there just to kind of hold all that in place and make it flush. And then when I put my hat on, I figured I had it a little bit too long, so I just pulled it back off and I just rolled that down one. And go ahead and put your hat on. And then just bend it over. Okay, next, if you have a cutting machine, you can cut out these watermelon. I'm going to use these for my decorations. If you don't, you can cut the shapes out, and where you have the seeds where the black would show through, you could just take a Sharpie and draw those on. So I'm just showing you how I'm assembling this. I cut 2 pink ones, and then I cut a black one solid, and I'm just attaching them together. And then I'm taking some 1/4-inch strips of craft foam, and I'm running them down the sides just to cover up all that black. And then I'm going to come in with the white and put it on the bottom, around the bottom edge. And then I'm going to put the green on right after that. And I'm using 2 of these for his decorations. And then I also cut out some little seeds. So if you have, I have included the SVG file for all that. If you don't have a cutting machine, you can probably just cut those out by hand. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and attach his nose. And then put a little dollop of glue on top to attach his hat to his nose. Now back to the watermelon. I did show you a watermelon in the very front of the video that I purchased at Amazon, and I'll give you that link too if you'd rather just buy them. And we're just attaching it to his hat and to his hand. And then glue that one down to his leg also so it stays straight. And then I'm just going to attach these seeds all over his hat. And I'm just randomly putting them on. All right, this is a pretty easy gnome. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see future videos, hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. This was a real fun one to make. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.